Hi everybody. Recently I've gotten the urge to play something fantasy themed. And I really miss the fantasy genre because I don't get to play these games as often as I would like to. And I always regret the fact that my channel doesn't have more RPG related content. If I had more time, I would definitely make more D&D type stuff. Anyway, I'm very grateful for having the internet. I get access to old school abandonware, and this allows me to get my fix for just the type of game I'm in the mood for at any given time. And today it's retro D&D stuff in the form of a text adventure. And why not, I always say, when it's free to play. And I believe they can be as immersive as just about any other game a person can play. It's theater of the mind, like radio or a good book. I recently stumbled upon one called Enchanter from Infocom, made back in 1983. So it came after Zork, and it boasted an even more advanced parser, which could supposedly recognize over 700 words. Going into it, I only knew the following. Your character is a novice magic user, and you have to defeat an evil warlock named Krill who lives in a giant, creepy castle, and you have to go in there and get him. You have a spell book with a few basic spells to start. Kind of reminds me of a Grail Quest book, like the first one. However, when you read the intro, you could tell Enchanter doesn't have a whimsical, goofy undertone like Zork or Grail Quest. So it seems more serious or a straight-edged D&D type of experience. Despite the title of the game, you start off as more like a medium or a seer. Perhaps you become an enchanter throughout the course of the game. You also don't start with any other weapons or tools. Anyway, what follows will be a brief example of live play of Enchanter, so no major spoilers, just enough to introduce the adventure, and I stitched in some ambiance and sound effects to enhance the immersion factor. At the end, I give a brief review and share some final thoughts. So we'll begin. It must be the warlock Krill, the odd disappearances, the mysterious dissolution of regions sacred to the circle, the lessening of the powers. These could only be his handiwork. The circle gathers, and its leader, the esteemed Bell Paz, reveals to them an ancient document which pretends evil days, much like our own. Krill's evil must be unmade, he begins, but to send a powerful enchanter is ill-omened. It would be ruinous to reveal over soon our full powers. A ripple of concern spreads over the face of each enchanter. Belboz pauses and collects his resolve. Have hope, this has been written by a hand far wiser than mine. He recites a short spell, and you appear. Belboz approaches, transfixing you with his gaze, and hands you the document. The other enchanters await his decree. These words, written ages ago, can have only one meaning. You, a novice enchanter with but a few simple spells in your book, must seek out Krill, explore the castle he has overthrown, and learn his secrets. Only then may his vast evil be lessened, or, with good fortune, destroyed. Circle rises in the tones of a richly woven spell, whose many textures imbue the small, darkened chamber with warmth and hope. There is a surge of power. You are sent. Right. The Enchanter. Fork. You stand at a point of decision on a road which makes a wide fork to the northeast and southeast, circling the base of the lonely mountain which looms high overhead to the east. A very long and winding road starts here and stretches out of sight to the west through low, smoky hills. The sun is rising over the lands to the east. Okay. Let's see, you got like paper and pencil here to make a map. So, actually, see what I'm carrying here. Inventory. A spell book. Okay. Open spell book. Thanks to its magic properties, the spellbook is always open to the right place at the right time, but it is also always closed. This innovation eliminates tedious page turning and hunting for spells in tight situations. Many wizardly lives have been saved by this small advance in magical technology. Okay, so I guess read spell book. The blorb spell. Safely protect a small object as though it in a strong box. Blorb. Write that down. Knitfall. Converse with beasts in their own tongue. Okay. Fraughts. Cause something to give off light. Nusto. Write a magic spell into a spell book. Okay. And speak to beasts. Okay. So, location, I guess, at the fork. Standing on a road which takes a wide fork to the northeast and southeast. Oh, I think it's going to be like Zork, where there's like 8 directions instead of just 4. Well, before we go to the mountain, maybe let's go west through some low smoky hills to see what's up there. So west. Okay, long road. Long road, okay. There's a crude map making. Okay, so you are walking along the road. It wends its way through low hills, sparse forests, and occasional subsistence farms. The west things seem lighter and more pleasant. The east they seem oppressive and dark. A worn sign sits beside the road here. The deserted village is to the east. You hear rustling in the brambles nearby, and you catch a glimpse of something small and furry as it scurries away. Uh-oh. Let's see. Maybe read sign? Read sign. Why? Okay, never mind. Look at brambles. You see nothing special about the bramble. The sun has now risen above the hills. Okay. Well, maybe keep going west. Things seem more pleasant to the west. Yeah, now I'm back at the fork. Okay. Let's try northeast. Outside of Shack. Okay. You are south of an old wooden shack, apparently deserted. The trail extends from northeast to southwest here, circling the lonely mountain which lies to the southeast. Look at wooden shack. You see nothing special. Okay. Still got 0 points. Okay. Extends northeast. Well, let's go northeast. Still northeast. So now we're on a trail. Okay, the trail turns a corner here, bending out of sight to the south, east, and southwest. The ground is higher here than to the south, allowing you to make out the top of the lonely mountain, shrouded in clouds. No path from here leads up the mountain, however. Bending out of sight to the southeast and southwest. Okay. Let's try southwest. Or southeast. Let's try southeast first. Southeast. Yeah, trailhead. This is probably going to be a dead end, I'm guessing. You are on the north side of the lonely mountain, walking a narrow path through rolling hills. On one side of the path is a sign, and behind that, to the northeast, a winding path through the thick undergrowth. The trail continues to the southeast. Read sign. Shady Brook Trail, Old Lingolf House, 1,000 feet. Huh. Okay, so keep going southeast then, just to get to Old Lingorf House. Lingolf, southeast. Eastern Fork. Okay. So, outside gate. It's going to get to the castle anyway. So, you're outside the western entrance to the castle. To the east stands an iron gate which is closed and chained. A winding road starts here and proceeds to the west. Huh. So I'm going to have to find a key to this gate. Open gate. The gate is secure. It cannot be unlocked. Climb over gate. Oh, okay, it's just locked then, so let's keep going. Backtrack west, west, west. Uh-oh. I need something to drink. Southwest. Okay, so back to the beginning. I started by going northeast. So let's go east then. Okay. What's gonna have to be southeast? Dusty trail. The trail here turns dry and dusty. To the northwest is a fork leading to the road, and the trail continues to the southeast. Well, I'm gonna have to keep going southeast. Loop. The trail makes a hairpin turn here, swinging to the northwest and northeast, where it enters a small village, low smoky hills. Swings to the northwest and northeast. Okay, we need to go to the village, northeast. Deserted village. This is the castle's village. Formerly, peasants lived here, going to their farm plots each day. Merchants and artisans make it a center of cultural activity, but now it's deserted, or almost. There is smoke rising from a particularly decrepit hovel to the south. The path travels through the village from southwest to northeast, heading towards the castle, and a less used trail heads north up the mountain. Okay, so let's see who's in the hovel to the south. It is stark and smoky in here, but this is a place of great disorder, and its odor is indescribable. A pile of rags sits near a small pot, which is bubbling and steaming over a tiny fire. The pile of rags sports a gnarled hand which busies itself with the noisome stew. A closer look reveals a withered crone at the other end of the hand. The creature looks you over keenly and speaks. I should have thought they would send someone more. She laughs in an unsettling way. They've all left. A great storm is brewing in the east, my friend, and all have fled before it. She starts to chuckle. Take this and be gone. With a wave of her hand, you find yourself reeling out of the door of the hovel, holding some sort of scroll in your hand. She gave me a spell. Look at scroll. The scroll reads, Rezrov spell, open even locked or enchanted objects. That's how you get to that's how you unlock the gate, I guess. So if I use the Nusto, I can write that into my book. So Nusto. Rezrov spell. Your spellbook begins to glow softly, slowly, ornately. The words of the Rezra spell are inscribed, glowing even more brightly than the book itself. The book's brightness fades, but the spell remains. However, the scroll on which it was written vanishes as the last word is copied. You are becoming quite thirsty. Okay. So I gotta find something to drink. But I did get a spell, so... path leads. Let's go north. This spot halfway up the lonely mountain is desolate and vegetation short, stunted trees with branches empty surround you in the air. Okay, continue north. This is the top of the lonely mountain. In olden days, mariners had named it Signal Mountain, for its glistening peak reflected the pale moonlight, providing an unmistakable landmark on unclouded nights. The bald mountain face is made of a shining substance whose nature is unknown to you. Looking to the west, low hills stretch over to the horizon, and small pieces of the long road can be seen, winding their way to distant lands. To the east, far away, can be seen a great castle at the edge of the sea. 3 turrets it has, 2 old and still majestic, lie on either side of the third, cold black as night and squat as a toad. An evil smoke seems to emanate from this tower, shrouding the others in a darkening fog. A small mountain trail leaves the peak and descends to the south into a small village below. Okay. Looks like I'm getting thirsty though. I gotta find something to drink. Still have to go northeast. I have to find that lock chain, Eastern Fork. Okay. I gotta get something to drink. East. Here we go. So, you are outside the western. It stands an iron gate which is closed and changed. A winding road starts here to proceed. Okay, so we're going to read spellbook. Rezrov, the gate. Rezrov, gate. You don't have the Rezrov spell committed to memory. Using your best study habits, you learn the Rezrov spell. Rezrov gate. Chains of the iron gate fly into the air and vanish. The gate flies open. A blast of cold air fills your lungs. This is cool. So, let's see. Outside the western entrance to the east stands an iron gate. So a winding road starts here and proceeds to the west. Okay, west. Your lips are parched. If you don't get a drink soon, you will pass out. I'm trying to find something. You're on high. East. East. Inside the gate. You are just inside what appears to be the main entrance to the castle, an iron gate, standing wide open, looms to the west. Through it, a narrow road can be seen winding through low, smoky hills. Before you, to the east, is a huge open courtyard. To the north and south are archways leading to the interior of the castle. Before you, to the east, is a huge open court. Okay, let's see if we can find a drink in the courtyard. This is the westernmost point in a large open courtyard. The huge entrance gate to the castle looms ominously to the west. The courtyard widens as it proceeds to the east, where a large ivy-colored temple stands. On either side of the temple are small towers. Far beyond the temple, high above, are two large towers marking the corners of the castle. A squat dark turret hunches between them, blackening the sky around it. A small path leads into the castle to the south. Let's see. Well, we'll have to go into the temple east. The temple comes with a howling, haunting chant. Everything you see is gray and lifeless, as though covered with a veil of ash. Sound is muted, and there is a faint, acrid odor. This is the interior of a huge temple of primitive construction. A few flickering torches cast a sallow illumination over the altar, which atop a row of stairs is still drenched with blood of human sacrifice. Behind the altar is an enormous statue of a demon, which seems to reach towards you with dripping fangs and razor-sharp talons. Two open doorways lead out of the temple to the east and west, while two wooden doors stand at the north and south. A mass of hunched figures in the temple are chanting a haunting tune. They don't seem interested in your presence. A low noise begins behind you, and you turn to see hundreds of hunched and hairy shapes. A guttural chant issues from their throats. Near you stands a figure draped in a robe of deepest black, brandishing a vicious dagger. The chant grows louder as the robed figure approaches the altar. As the shapes grab you, the figure in black speaks. Take the victim to the tower. I shall prepare for the sacrifice. The figures whose form you can only barely guess take you from here through the northern door and into a prison cell. They take your possessions from you and close the door with a crash. Cell. Everything you see is gray and lifeless, as though covered with a veil of ash. Sound is muted, and there is a faint acrid odor. Okay. There's a small prison cell in the north tower of the temple. Hideous shapes can be seen through the iron barred window in the prison door. From the temple, a blood-curdling chant can be heard. You are becoming quite hungry. So I'm in a cell now. I wonder if I can cast the spell on the prison door. You have died. You don't have your spell book. How do you expect to memorize a spell without a spell book? Okay. A host of hunched and hairy shapes appear through the window. The cell door opens and you are marched solemnly to the temple. And from there, up the steps to the altar, the large black figure approaches menacingly. He reaches into his cloak and pulls out a great glowing dagger. He pulls you onto the altar, and with a murmur of approval from the throng, he plunges the blade into your heart. You have died. You awaken from the members of the circle. Belboz, the necromancer, looks tired and scattered. About are the remains of the components of a spell of great healing power. The other members of the circle are pleased to see you revived, but worried by the setback. I think Krill is too powerful, says one. This inexperienced wizard will never defeat one so puissant as he. Quiet discussion ensues with well-concealed acrimony beneath the surface. Debate ensues with Belboz returning frequently to the contents of the ancient manuscript. His wishes prevail, and it is agreed to send you back. This is cool. Okay, well, I'll leave it there. Just to give you a sort of introduction of the type of gameplay with Enchanter. Okay, so that was a brief sample of Enchanter gameplay. I haven't finished it yet, but it's entertaining, spooky. Overall, I think it's pretty great. I got into it really wanting to discover what's behind each door and stuff like that. Overall, I thought it was pretty hard. I really like the spellcasting aspect. It was pretty fun. The world building, the overall gameplay in general was good. The writing is a tad odd at times, like the way things are described a bit. I don't know. It's definitely got a bizarre style to the writing at times. And I think it's probably intentional to make it seem period old. But yeah, I highly recommend Enchanter. When I played this, the time just slips away. Like these games are a great way to just pass time because they're so easy to get into and immersive. So I recommend this title. Try it out sometime and let me know what you think in the comments. And thanks for watching and stay tuned for more content coming soon.